Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I am Nerdarchist Ted. This is Untraditionally Arcane, episode 17 of our ongoing campaign with these wonderful people. Before we go into all of who they are and what we're doing here, just want to quickly throw out there that this game is sponsored by Easy Roller Dice. So get your awesome stuff over on their website. You can jump down to the description below, check out that link. Check out that coupon code for first-time orders and, roll with the power of Easy Roller Dice. Carlos is showing off some of his newly acquired Easy Roller stuff right there.
Absolutely.
Go check it out and, show them some love because, they're awesome. So we are playing this Untraditionally Arcane game. It's a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game where all of our players are wizards, but they're not the normal, 8th school of wizard magics. They all are something, untraditional. They are currently trying to fix what is going wrong with magic by having all of these vessels of arcane power searched out and figure out what is wrong with them and get it all fixed so that magic can, stop or start working properly. So I'm going to throw it to our wonderful producer who makes all of this happen. And then he can throw it in turn to somebody else. Introduce yourself, where people can find you. Take it away, Jake.
Hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and that's where you can find me when I'm not here once a month with these awesome people. I run the Twitch channel and the YouTube channels Mini Terrain Domain, where we run Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries campaign on Monday nights, and the Dawnbringers campaign on Thursday nights, which Ted is a player in, and I looked it up, Ted, at the end of this month will be the Dawnbringers 4-year anniversary, as we are in season 6, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and Ted's been there since season 2, and it's been awesome. And occasionally I'll do live streams where I do mini painting and crafting, and I do 3D printing and painting of those as well. I'm gonna throw it over to Asa.
Oh, catch me off guard. I'm used to going last in these. Hey, I am Asa. I am with Roll for Mischief. We are a character-driven, emotionally devastating D&D Twitch channel. We stream every Tuesday from 12 to 3 Pacific time. Adjust for your own time zone. I have no idea where people live. And that's actually my newer pitch, because that's kind of what we say at the beginning of each of our streams. And I mean me, because I'm the one who does the Ted's job on that particular stream. But here with Nerdarchy, I play Joshua, the Tiefling onomancer, who typically sounds like a scared Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it to Carlos. He's looking really patient, and I like his new haircut.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really hot outside, so but yeah, internet. Hi, my name is Carlos Rivera. I run the Volcanic Knight YouTube channel where I help you play like an adult. And today I am going to be doing Flock's Fine Feather, your Order of the Peacock Wizard, one of Nerdarchy's frankly fun subclasses. It's never a dull moment flavoring in very fine feathers in my spells. And with that, I will be passing it off to Robin.
I am Robin. I write weird fiction. Links in the description below. I can also be found here on Tuesday nights and every other Thursday on Quill and Sword on Twitch. We do Quill and Sword. And that's, I'm gonna be playing Chessaline, Drow Bladesinger.
All right, and as you probably, Fraginator is not here tonight, so we are sadly down a player, but we will, carry on, and we play loosey goosey with that kind of stuff. I don't need to write some dramatic story as to where Sprig is, so we'll just say that he's along for the ride, and for whatever reason, being a little bit quiet. so that when Frag can join us again, we get to pick right up where we left off, and we'll just have to fill Frag in. So without further ado, let's dive into the world and see what's going on. When last we left off, our illustrious adventurers were traveling, looking for a particular arcane vessel, a tablet, if you will, and I'm trying to get to, which originally was said that it was held by the castle wizard in the kingdom of Dralic. They investigated Dralic and found out that that old wizard moved on, died, something happened, and some idiot has taken place, and all of the wizard's old belongings were gotten rid of, and they hired a service of some junkyard near Fausthaven to come and just collect all of that nonsense. So they went back to Gol Taloth, took another teleportation, this one heading in the direction of Fausthaven. We left off with this massive tower coming into view that almost looked like some upstretched hand, rising high into the sky. And you could see a large fenced structure, surrounding, this giant tower. And that's where we're going to pick back up. So as this comes into view, you can see a massive complex, a very high-rised, metal fence. It's definitely not a uniform piece. It definitely looks like hodgepodge put together, many times repaired, surrounding a couple gates, but one hanging loosely open, and this slightly leaning tower that again stretched on the horizon, just slightly bent over. How do you guys decide to approach?
I would assume cautiously, with a bit of care.
I don't know. I mean, I certainly wouldn't think to suggest going stealthily.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to, ask Chessaline, since she's the designated group leader.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
All right, so Chess, how are you approaching?
I mean, honestly, unless somebody stops me fairly openly.
Okay.
If we have time to cast a ritual, I think that Joshua would think to cast Detect Magic.
That's probably not a bad idea.
There is no oh my God, this thing came out of nowhere. This is definitely visible from far off. The fence is a good 18 to 20 feet high. You can see things piled up behind the fence. There is definitely a lot of stuff here. If this is some kind of junkyard.
I was imagining this as the junk heap from the labyrinth when we brought this up last week.
To an extent, you definitely see some similarities with that.
Or Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was also thinking about that. And there's also something else I remember where there's like portals opened up. As a book I read, they just drop junk into a place. So yeah, there's several images going through Asa's mind, but that's not who matters here. Who matters is Joshua,
right?
And he's present enough to be probably casting this spell while moving along without really telling anybody what he's doing.
Now I don't have that spell pulled up at the moment. Do you know how long Detect Magic lasts?
It lasts 10 minutes.
Right. So you realize that it's going to take 10 minutes to cast and then 10 minutes of use. So how far out from the gate are you going to stop for 10 minutes and wait?
I'd like to do it. Well, I mean, if we have time just before the gate, maybe just take a breath. You know what we'll do? Because we'll role play this out as we get to the gate. Joshua is going to be breathing heavy and just, I need a moment to just get a drink and take a breath before we progress into this place. We stop for just a bit.
We'll take your time. It wouldn't do to have you all red-faced and puffy when we get in there.
I can't do much about the red face. It just happens.
Isn't Joshua also puffy normally?
he is a very heavy set tiefling. Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just calling out that Joshua is quite poorly.
Allergic reactions I often have to walking.
So
Of course.
I kind of want to lend Joshua my fan to help him, air himself off.
That is what Joshua needs, is just one of those little paper fans that he's just constantly fanning himself with.
I cast my spells through this,
wizards,
so please take care.
You could get an unseen servant to just do that for you.
Oh, that's so good. I should devote so much more thought to the frivolous use of spells for Joshua.
Speaking of frivolous use of spells, while you're casting your ritual, Ordo is about every pretty much continuously casting prestidigitation as they're walking through this junkyard to keep his robes clean. Every time he cleans a section of the robes, then he turns and he finds a new section of dirt, which he then, to deal with that, gets the clean section dirty. It's just a never-ending battle with him.
So you're going to do that once you guys go into it? Because you guys are outside the gate currently, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is what he's doing outside while Joshua's casting his ritual.
Okay. So,
well, my ritual's cast unless something else happens while I'm doing it.
Your 10 minutes goes by, and I know you guys are not a super perceptive party, but at some point in time, you definitely see a couple figures kind of like flying overhead of the piles. And you hear like high-pitched, you might call it a voice, you might call it a screech, but there's definitely high-pitched sounds that are heard coming from flying figures. Nothing that like definitively says that you've been spotted or anything aggressive, heading in your direction. But there's no way to, help but noticing, that.
Well, we're not doing anything wrong here, so.
So what do? You finish your spell, Joshua.
All right. Magic goggles activate. I'll hand Phlox his fan back and say, "Thank you. I think I'm ready to move on."
I catch the fan and almost get ready to, almost like shotgun, lock and load, like.
Right. I guess I will look to Chesseline, our group leader.
Well, we have something that we're looking for. We're not sure where here it is. We don't know how important they decided that it was once it got here. It might be wise to try and find whoever it was that made the deal with Drellic in the first place. Is anybody getting the vibe like we shouldn't be going in just talking to these people?
So you don't see, like, typically when you see things that are gated, there is usually some kind of like watchtower or guard on duty. You don't see any of that. You don't see anything that looks like typical foot traffic out here. It doesn't look like anybody has come this way in some time.
Does the gate have any magical aura about it?
It does not.
All right. Well, the gate seems mundane. We might be able to just knock, announce our presence through some loud sound, see who comes answering.
Is the gate locked?
No, there is one gate that you see, and it is like open. Not like, it's not open wide, but it's definitely, enough for something large to be able to get through.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm just gonna go right in.
I'll follow suit.
I'm gonna keep walking until I find someone to talk to that looks like they might, have some answers.
I'll follow suit and really hope the guy Cheseling doesn't lead me anywhere bad.
Also, while we're walking, I'm gonna make marks in the dirt, just little arrow marks to remind me which ways we went, because this place looks like it'd be real easy to get lost in, and that would be a shame.
So you definitely see, large mounds and piles. And I mean, nothing that you see here immediately, chimes as significant value, but every so often in the piles, like something will kind of glitter and glisten, some freshly polished this or some, nice and shiny that. So there is definitely some things of value deep within, slightly covered up. But as the term junk implies, there is definitely plenty of junk here. As you kind of look around and are looking for, somebody to get the attention of, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Cool. Oh, 4.
So beyond the occasional thing that flutters high, nothing on the ground seems to have grabbed your attention that's living anyway. So with that 4, you tell me, what does Cheseline see in one of the piles that has got your attention?
Oh, a skull. Absolutely a skull.
What is it a skull of, and why does this stand out to you so much?
Well, it stands out to me because it is the skull of an adolescent dragon, and the bones are obsidian black.
Okay. So when you see this, the sun kind of glistens off, this, ebony bone. It's the briefest of moment. See, or you think you see, like the eye be in place, and it watch you, like take a step, and you think it follows you. And maybe it was a trick of the light glistening from the sun overhead. Maybe it was magic, or maybe there really is something going on here. How do you respond to this?
I'm gonna go closer because this is intriguing to me, and I have officially been distracted by a dead dragon head.
What do the rest of you do when you see Cheseline, begin, narrowing in on something in one of the piles?
Oh, I know I definitely follow suit and hope that Cheseline doesn't lead me anywhere weird.
All right. So are you looking intently at one of the piles as well there, Phlox?
So I guess the question is, do I actually see said dragon bones? Or
Oh,
is this-
absolutely. Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah, I don't know how intently I am looking. I may be admiring the structure of the bones, for artistic reasons. I might even want to start doodling them or whatnot, but just kind of like, hey, what's going on?
Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Ah, shit. It's a 4.
So something to the right of this dragon skull grabs your attention. What is it there, Carlos?
So, do you recall back in the Feywild, I saw a dragonborn skeleton person? I see the same exact dragon-shaped skull there.
So, is it in fact that same one, or does it just have similarity between them?
It's the same one.
And why does this so have your attention? Because
it has
wild, or
I mean, so I guess it may tie back into something of Phlox's past of an interaction with Dragonborn. with
Okay.
height and whatnot. And but what's happening is like he's kind of seeing this dragonborn skull, realizing, okay, well, it's more likely a dragon, but then it start kind of like, in his mind, rematerializing into the same face that he saw in the Feywild.
Okay. So having seen this, I'll pause on the two of you for a moment. Jake, Asa, what are Odo and Joshua doing as Chess and Phlox kind of head towards, one of the piles with some intent in their steps?
Going to give Jake a chance to talk first because he hasn't done as much as I have this session.
I think at this point, given that we've for quite some time now been we've been following Chess, I can only assume that there is something that Chess is looking for that I should probably be helping with. Though I'm not probably clambering over any junk piles to the way that they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that thing where I'm just kind of looking around like this and maybe reaching out and using a mage hand to move something so I don't get my own hands too filthy.
Okay, so I was going to ask if if Chessaline or Phlox was actually going to touch something, but Odo jumps right in. Awesome. So, even though it is a mage hand that disturbs the pile, all of you here in a kitchen, I'm not even going to attempt to do it because I've been doing a lot of talking today. I've told my friends here on the stream, this is my second session today, so my voice is a little bit scratchy, but high-pitched screech of don't touch, and a form flies overhead, and you watch as a jumble of pieces here, there, all kind of like collect and rudimentarily form these humanoid shapes. And just for shiggles, the head of one of them happens to be the draconic skull that Chessaline was looking at, and like some object or a couple of objects kind of like perch on the side to almost mimic some kind of hat. You see a couple of sigils kind of appear around all of it. So go ahead and roll initiative for me, please.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen. I would imagine that there would be some faint magic aura around something that I might have seen at this point, but
so you
chance to
absolutely
respond.
you do see the magic kind of collect around these things, and I apologize. There's a lot going on here. There would have been faint glimmers here and there.
Oh, it's all good.
What the frick? Sorry, it was something in the chat.
Yeah.
So the there's a couple faint glimmers here and there within a pile, but like you weren't seeing a whole lot of what the object was. Like you were getting a faint glimmer through said objects, and then when these things stand up, they are now having magical aura to them.
Coincidentally, that was what I imagined I would see, so it makes sense because that's about what I would have described if I was DMing this.
All right, so let me get initiative collected.
Guys, chat's gonna be a pain in the ass for me on Discord or on Zoom because my Surface does not want to use the keyboard, so I have to touchscreen type everything.
Chess at a 14.
Yes.
Things. Then we got Ordo at a 5. Joshua. Flocks, as you watch these, handful of collected objects stand together and clearly look aggressive, what do you do?
Oh, Lord help me. So immediately as I kind of, become very like surprised with happening, I kind of and do a hypnotic pattern to the group that's right there in front of us.
Okay.
Probably knowing it's not going to be effective, but I still do it anyway.
Is this a charmed effect?
Indeed it is.
Yeah, they don't seem bothered by your hypnotic pattern.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Is that Flox's equivalent of like a skunk spray? You're like,
No,
I'm afraid. Hypnotic
I
pattern.
imagine like, he does this thing and he gets out, the little peacock tail that all kind of like flutters and shakes. That's my guess. Is that what happens, Carlos?
That is exactly what happens.
Awesome. So next up is chess.
Excellent. We were actually just looking for somebody to talk to. And I've got a hand resting on my sword, but I haven't drawn it.
Okay. Well, they clearly look aggressive.
Okay, so this doesn't do anything to slow them down at all.
It does not.
Okay, well, if they're still moving toward me, then I'll draw down and activate my blade song.
Okay.
All right. Let's do this. Does a 14 hit?
It does not.
Oh. Okay, then. Well.
Did you get a second attack?
It does not say that on my sheet, so probably not.
I thought Bladesinger's got a second attack at 6th.
Okay, yeah, we're level 8, so I would.
I'm
I
level
don't know
8?
why I didn't write that down.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm still level 7.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm throwing.
Did I forget to level up in here? Is this true?
Did I mess up?
I mean, even if you were level 7, you would still be level 6 to be able to have the extra attack. I'd have to go.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's dirty 21.
All right, that hits.
I mean, Chess is our leader. It makes sense. She's level 8.
Well, no, because it says level 7 on the PDF, but it says level 8 on my sheet. I'll figure this out later.
Notice we're not questioning that you're level 8. We're questioning that we're not.
I think we're wrong. You're pretty
Right.
studious, Robin. You usually know what's going on.
Anyway, that's 6 damage.
6
The
damage.
rest of us are about as perceptive as our characters.
All right, so one of them takes 6 damage. All right, so there are 3 of these things. One of them is right in front of you, Chessaline. So it's gonna take a swing, and I don't think that's gonna do anything. 15 hit you?
I don't believe it does. No, not even close.
All right, so Ordo, the one that was kind of behind the one that just attacked Chessaline, you kind of notice that there's like some kind of bent stick in its right arm, and it kind of like almost like puppet moves and gestures in your direction, and you see 3 gouts of flame shoot out at you, That is a 19 and a dirty 20 to hit.
I mean, those are obviously going to hit unless
Okay.
I'm just checking. Which is the one that you I always get confused between shield and shield of faith. Which is the one that you throw up as a reaction and this gives you a +5?
Shield.
Okay, I do have that prepared. You said okay, so let me see. It doesn't matter. I'm getting hit.
Okay. So you're going to take 14 points of fire damage as these two of the three things, the two gouts of flame, actually manage to connect with you. The third goes wide. The other one is going to move into Joshua, and it is going to swing at you, sir.
So I'm imagining these are these like little trash golem goblins?
They are composed of trash and junk, but they are full medium-sized things.
Oh, I thought they were small.
They are not small. So that is a 17 and a 19 to hit you.
Oh, those will both hit, and I will take them because I think shield gives you a +4, and that would still hit me.
Shield is +5.
Oh, then I would like to pop shield because the 17 will miss if it.
Okay. So they will both miss then.
Just the 17. The other one was a 19. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Right, so I'll reroll. They roll both of them at the same time. All right. So that is going to be 7 points of damage. That's, the fist of this pile of trash smashes into you.
Okay.
And then that brings us up to Ordo.
Of course it does.
Question: did we still have those temporary hit points? Or were those something given to us by Carl a while ago for no reason?
It was
You typically get temporary hit points from flocks.
Oh, right. Okay.
and that's assuming if Ted allowed it to carry over from last session.
Yeah, I mean, you typically do. I mean, you've made it a point that's your, standard operating procedures.
All right, cool. I had them. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
Same.
cheating.
No, I still had 10. I had 10 on there as well.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Cool.
All right. So I've got one that's directly engaged with me.
No, it fired the flame from a distance.
Okay. Can I move in a way that I can get at least one, preferably more, in a 20-foot radius while not getting my allies in that same 20-foot?
You could definitely get 2, but you are also going to get a junk pile in said radius.
Like just a pile of junk?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to move in that way.
Okay.
And as soon as I get to the spot, I sort of run over my little dwarven legs and I kind of skid to a stop, hiking up my robes as I run, skid to a stop, turn and plant my feet like this. And my beard, every hair in my beard just stands on end in every direction, coming out from around the beard girding and several of my whiskers just turn into these hardened quills that shoot out, and I need those to I need them to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 17, as I cast Rain of Quills.
Okay. One passes, one succeeds. One passes, one fails.
That'll be
One succeeds. Like that.
And that does.
Cool.
Oh. It does 8d6. 8d6 piercing, so that's. I rolled a whole bunch of 2s. 10, 15, 16, 17, 21, 24, or 12 if they piercing.
Okay. Joshua, what are you doing?
Okay, so there's one right in front of me that's like smashing
Yes.
junk fists at me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this is where Joshua is going to defy his training as a wizard and pull out that great sword or whatever it was that I grabbed a while back that has just been floating around in my inventory and doing almost nothing. And I'm going to attack with it. Bear in mind, I do not have proficiency with a great sword.
What is your strength?
It is a 12, so I will have a +1 to my attack roll.
Well, good luck, sir.
I rolled a 20.
A natural 20.
A natural 20. That is a
Holy
21. I begin my
Joshua.
attack with this weapon with a crit.
Joshua just learned he's good at something that's not magic.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Out the gate with a crit on a great sword.
Well, go ahead and roll that damage.
Okay. It's maximum plus the additional, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 13 plus 2d6 is going to be 16 points of damage.
Woo. Definitely did not like that.
Joshua the warrior.
Perhaps you started the wrong training.
Maybe I kind of look at this thing and say, there isn't a chance you have a name now, is there?
Does that end your turn? As it
That
does?
ends my turn.
All right, Phlox, you're up.
Alrighty. So is Chesaline, I'm assuming, is in range of one of the combatants?
Yes.
Yeah, Chesaline is in melee combat with one. Joshua is in combat with the other, and the third is just on the other side, so within 10 feet of Chesaline.
And to the best of my knowledge, no one's taken damage yet, right?
I've taken some damage.
I've taken damage.
Not dosed to the temporary hit points, though. So not like health damage.
Okay. So the one that Joshua is in combatant of, what I'm gonna do is cast Wither and Bloom to that area right there.
What level spell is that?
It is a level 2 necromancy.
Fine. So you go to begin summoning the magic, and let's see. The one that Chesaline is fighting. Chesaline is right in your face. You watch this sigil on its chest like burn brighter and fizzle out, and you watch Phlox's spell fail.
Nice.
Quick, Carl, counterspell the counterspell.
Carl, get back! These people are too strong for you. Oh. Huh? Yeah, so yeah. Okay. Egg on my face and kind of like, okay, well, I tried. End turn.
All right. You watch just after your turn is over there, Phlox, as the one that Joshua is fighting, some more pieces of junk kind of like fly up and cover over some of the spot where the greatsword made an impact. And then Chess, you're up.
Okay. Oh, my darling dear, you misunderstood. That wasn't a request. and I'm going to make my attacks. The first one was a nat 20. The second was a dirty 22. I will cast Inflict Wounds. That is going to be a total of 65 damage, 42 of which is necrotic.
Holy shit.
Yo.
So,
Damn. This is why Chess is our leader.
You're right.
where is, no, I'm in there. So you watch as you basically just kind of rip through within 2 strikes, and there's a pot and part of a suit of armor that are literally just rended in pieces as you just destroy and wither what was comprised of this thing. You watch, the immaculate dragon skull just kind of like clatter back down to the ground. That at least is fine.
I look upon it pleased and in my turn.
The one that was kind of like standing right behind you, that fired the flame at Ordo, kind of like looks down at the pile of stuff that was in front of it, and while nothing really gives you any sense of sentience, it does for a moment look slightly confused, and then steps, forward. And at first you think it's about to punch you. I need you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving.
Okay. $13.
13 doesn't quite
Oh,
do.
no, I haven't.
Go ahead.
No, never mind. That's only on acrobatics checks. It's not saving throws.
Okay. So you watch as, like, instead of like coming in with a punch, it punches the ground, and you watch as the pile of junk, some of which was, the remnants of the golem, literally explode out around you.
Oh, all right.
It's going to be 25 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
And then the other one decides to punch away at Joshua. That is a 21. I'm assuming an 8 misses.
An 8 will miss. In response to the 21, Joshua will entreat his skunk reaction, and bouts of flame will shoot from him as I hellish rebuke him.
Okay. So that is going to be 9 points of punchy damage.
Okay, it is a dexterity saving throw of 15 or half damage, and I will roll that in just a second.
All right. He's got a 19, so he passes.
All right, I need to roll my d6s or d10s rather, and then tell you what. So that's, I rolled a 19 in total, so half that in fire damage.
10. He takes a little bit of burning damage from your spell.
All right, is he melting? Am I satisfied?
All right. He took damage. Like he saved for half. Doesn't he didn't take damage off of that, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, that was what I was hinting at. I'm not satisfied. This junk doesn't seem to be flammable.
Not vulnerable. Sorry. So Ordo, you're up, sir.
I apologize. What was the spell that Flax had failed with?
Withering Bloom.
Oh, Wither and Bloom. Okay. And I just saw Joshua do somewhat effective burn damage.
Yes.
All right. Ordo's rolling up his sleeves and begins to cast. And you see as he reaches into his component pouch, and you see as I reach down in the component pouch, I kind of wince a little bit because you're about to see Ordo do something he's never done before. As I scoop a little bit of bat guano out, and I'm gonna blast a fireball at one of these.
All right. Where are you centering it? Because there's, one on Chess, and the other is on Joshua. So you can get both of them if you're willing to burn Chess, or you can get one of them.
I'm not
Don't
willing.
mind.
Did you just say I don't mind?
I did.
Well,
Lord.
that sounds like consent to me. I'm going for both of them then.
All right. So you launched this fireball.
That is DC 17.
Yeah. So as you throw out this fireball, you watch as the one that had just punched Joshua, a similar sigil burns, this time red. You watch as the spell just, as it travels the distance, the energy just seems to like dissipate, and sparkles of flame hit the ground, but sadly no explosion.
So reactions are once per round, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I gotta.
I'm not
And
kidding.
you're-
I nat 20'd my dex save for this.
Well, I'm thankful that you used up that second 20 of the session on a wasted roll and not on my monsters. So there, you are not seeing a.
Oh my god, you mean it canceled the spell? It wasn't just canceling the effect on the.
Oh yeah, the spell.
Oh, it stopped the fireball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
No
that's a
explosion.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fascinating. I love this encounter. Continue.
So
Okay.
you are not seeing like a counter spell being cast. You are just seeing the magic take effect. Even if you had noticed what was going on, Joshua, you would not have been able to enact the counter spell.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I mean, Joshua maybe still thinks it's a counter spell, but Asa
Sure.
got you.
Right. I mean, from a mechanical standpoint, so that not only you but the audience out there is aware as well. I mean, you guys are all wizards, and it is no fun to get into a counter nonsense here.
You mean like 3 sessions ago?
That actually was pretty fun. That was probably the most fun.
It was
Oh,
hilarious.
I mean, repeatedly.
Yes,
overdoing.
absolutely, you're right.
So
It
that
was funny once.
was Ordo's action. Bonus action. Anything else? As I stole your fire, but not your thunder. And
Yeah,
both.
I mean, I think no. I'm gonna translate this as Ordo is staring in stunned silence, as he's probably holding his hand a little, like where he used the bat guano, but he's also just like, didn't work.
And for those 80s children out there, you could say the line, "Where's the kaboom?" There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
So yeah, I think he's just gonna stand there in stunned silence.
Awesome. Joshua, you're up, sir.
Joshua's gonna raise an eyeball at this magic eating junk bot and say, "So no name then. All right." And I'm gonna attack it again.
Some semblance of intelligence, kind of like it crooks his head just ever so slightly to the right, but that's the best you get out of a reaction.
All right. Well, then in turn, I swing my great sword once again. This time, connecting hopefully with an 18.
It does not.
Feeling.
Oh, damn!
You move in. You make connection with the pile. Like it's not like super agile, but the weapon doesn't appear to do any damage to the exterior of said junk pile.
So, for comedic effect, I have that moment in my head where I just hit it with the sword, and then I get the bong, and I'm just like shaking as the sword is shaking in my hand, and I'm confused as to why that didn't work.
So to add to that, the thing looks down at its chest, looks back at you and just takes a step closer. Phlox, you're up.
What's the distance between me and Ordo?
How much distance do you want there to be between you and Ordo?
I haven't moved at all whatsoever.
Well, I've kind of got you about like, towards the back of the party. So I would say like, maybe 10, 15 feet away because he did move in order to cast spell in a, particular area.
So I move up to Ordo, grab a bit of bat guano. With feeling!
So you're going to launch a fireball now as well?
At level 4?
Okay. So what is
Do you mind getting hit by that?
You do mind? Or okay,
Level
so
4, yes, I do mind getting hit by that.
As he says he has launched it. Do you wish to rewind your action there, sir?
It's fine.
I'll
It's
take it.
fine.
I'll take it.
I mean, if somebody wants to, if
Pretty
anybody,
sure I have absorb elements. I'll
mean,
take it.
with feeling, I was going to
Well-
target one person, but if Joshua wants to eat it like a
So
sandwich,
you can get one of them with a fireball. If you want to get both of them, you have to get Chess.
well,
Oh,
because I'm a
well.
team player, I won't burn you.
Okay. So are you attacking the one on Joshua or the one on Chess?
The singular one without damaging Cheslin.
Okay, so you
Appreciate
attacking
that.
the-
Thank you.
Are you attacking the one fighting Chess or the one fighting Joshua?
Oh Lord. Okay, so okay. I'm gonna say the one fighting chess.
Okay. What is your DC? Doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter, folks.
Well, roll your damage.
33 divided by half, assuming.
No.
Nay? Okay, well,
33 damage.
yes, sir.
All right. It is significantly singed. It does not pass its saving throw, and it takes a boatload of fire damage. You
Okay.
you watch as its head kind of like tilts and orients in your direction, and what you could construe as eyes may comprised of a couple different objects kind of glow red. Does that end your turn?
Yeah, it definitely ends my turn. I'm looking at it cautiously, but I'm ending my turn.
All right, Chess, you're up.
Okay. So I'm still next to this one.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm going to make a touch attack against it, and I'm going to cast a spell that you guys have not yet seen me cast, or anyone for that matter. So I'm going to make my melee attack.
Sure.
Oh, I know I whiffed it. I have a second attack though.
Okay.
Okay. Does a 22 hit?
22 does hit.
Okay, cool. So, this phantasmal hand just sort of extends from my sword and sinks into the flesh of my target, tethering me by a ghostly line to this creature. It's going to be 6 piercing and 10 necrotic damage because I rolled abysmally on that, but the tether
What-
remains.
So what do you say as you launch this?
Stay.
Well, as you do so, it crumples to the ground.
Oh.
Apparently, it's going to stay in pieces. And then there was one. So as it falls to the ground, the head still oriented in the direction of Phlox, with its red eyes slowly dwindling.
Oh Lord.
All right, so this one looks at you, Joshua, and it kind of mimics what the last one did to Chesseline. It comes in looking like it's going to throw a punch, what strikes at the ground. So I need you to go ahead and make a dex saving throw for me.
Well, Joshua will hold his sword up in front of him and wince because I rolled a 9, which is actually an 8. It might just be a 9, but either way, it's not a success.
So you two watch as an explosion of junk happens.
Does my sword protect me at all?
It does not. You take 26 points of slashing damage.
Dang. I imagine some things bounce off and don't scratch my face.
Yes, which is why some of those dice rolled a 1 instead of a 6.
Yeah, it was the sword. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. You got it.
I'm glad I've made this choice with this character.
Ordo, you're up, sir.
All right. There's one junk monster left.
Uh-huh.
And again, kind of shaking his head from the surprise of the fireball not working. Ordo is going to take a moment and gird his loins, which is to take his robes and sort of hold them up between his legs and kind of tie them off in his belt real quick, so it gives him a little extra movement and turns his robes into almost like loose-fitting pants, I guess. Culottes? I don't know. As he does this, he makes a motion like he's drawing a blade from a sheath that isn't there, and you see what looks like one half of a pair of scissors form in the air out of shadow as he casts Shadow Blade.
Nice.
And rushes in to make a melee spell attack.
All right.
It's a 13 on the die plus 7. That's a dirty 20 to hit.
Just barely misses.
It's not what I thought that last word was going to be.
Sorry.
Just running up, looking like he knows what he's doing. And I think at the last second, steps on a loose piece of junk and just kind of flails and makes a very awkward motion with this Shadow Blade, completely whiffing on this.
So I would say, like, the tip of the blade connects and there's like a faint scratch upon, whatever junk there. And you can just barely make out there's just like faint blue sparks that come from the connection, and you can sense that the magic that pulled this together is what has made this so tough, since it's literally comprised of just junk.
All right, well, that's going to be my turn.
All right. Back to the right page. That brings us to Joshua.
I will be muted. All right, I'll look sadly at my sword, and then with my offhand, I suppose I will start to sort of make a gesture. I'm not good at explaining spells at the moment, but I'm going to cast Create Bonfire underneath this thing.
Okay. It's a dex save, I believe.
It is a dex save, DC 16. Not sure why that save was higher than my other one.
It does not pass.
All right.
Close, but did not make it.
That is, oh wow, that's 4 points of fire damage.
All right.
Get there.
Yeah.
It takes the damage.
I think that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay standing in front of it.
Okay.
Hold my ground.
Fox, you're up, sir.
So Ordo is in melee combat of this.
Yes, Ordo
Melee.
and Joshua are now in melee combat with this thing. Now's the time to throw another fireball. Get them both.
Which that's why I asked. Like, should I not?
I mean, based on positioning, you could technically aim it and get the creature, Ordo, Joshua, and Chesaline. You could take them all in one go.
You mean I could TPK my own party? Hell yeah.
Think of the XP. Think of the XP.
Shit.
You get all their magic items.
Oh,
It would haunt you if I hadn't already promised to haunt
I was,
someone else. that
I was
died.
literally about to say the exact same thing. I would haunt them.
You have access to this awesome greatsword that you could loot off of my corpse. I think
God.
that should be the deciding factor right there.
best game ever. No. I choose not to TPK my party. And instead, firebolt this
All right, roll it up.
You're ready. That is 11 on the die plus. I don't think an 18's hitting if a 20 didn't hit.
Nope, 18 misses. The bolt does not cause damage. Whether it goes wide or whether it connects and just doesn't burn, your call.
So what happens is I go, and then like what happens is like the firebolt just bounces off this dude, and I'm like, okay, and I do healing word,
Who are you-
and I will heal. I think Joshua.
I could use it.
Yeah, I
could
think
use it.
Joshua took a bit of damage.
I'm looking pretty beat up.
It was only
Yeah.
26.
Oh,
last
yeah.
round.
I'm only at 1/4 of my health. Don't worry.
Only 1/4. Well, all right. Well, if it's only 1/4, I'll give it to Chess. It's like,
Oh no, I have 1/4 of my health left.
Oh.
Yeah, I got smacked pretty hard, but I'm still basically okay.
Also,
Walk it off.
Chess's like health
The
is
closest
probably
thing we have to a tank, honestly.
Yeah.
So I need to warn you though, it's not that much, because I can only cast that at first level.
Mhm.
So you can enjoy the 6 extra
Yep.
HP.
That's about what I expected. It would help if I applied it as healing and not as damage.
Yeah, that usually does help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm at 1/3 of my health. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, there you go. Looking on the bright side.
I could survive one more of those ground smashes if I rolled my dexterity save throw.
All right, are you done there, Phlox?
Indeed.
All right, Chesaline, you're up.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get in range. I'm going
Sure.
to attack again. And we're gonna inflict wounds.
Sure.
I'm not gonna blow another 4th level spell on this. Okay, so I have a nat 1 and then dirty 22.
All right,
So I got a hit in.
the nat 1 clearly misses. 22 hits.
All right, that's 10 slashing. And 23 necrotic.
All right, well, I really hate to give you all 3 kills, but I'm not gonna give this guy more hit points just to not let Chess get all the kills.
I mean, I came in with the assist. I did the first damage to this guy.
First
Yes,
blood.
damage was done by all, but literally all 3.
All three.
And these
We're
things
brought
had
to-
nasty high AC.
Yeah, we softened them up.
Yeah, exactly. We helped. It's a team. It's a team effort.
It's a
We're
team
helping our
effort.
leader out.
You
Get the
again
kills.
bring in, magic and blade and wither and slash and break this into just a pile before it clatters to the ground. And as the last one falls, you can kind of see. It's more hearing that orients your direction to be able to see, but there's these like like withered looking, humanoids with feathery wings and horns, like kind of like jumping and, flying up on top of these piles. And they're like screeching and yelling down at you. I'm not certain whether they're actually just making noise or whether they're talking. Their, faces are kind of, wrinkled and quite ugly as they kind of like cry out at all of you. What do you guys do?
Do
I
any of
cast
you
comprehend language
Oh,
because I have all the spells.
Because you
go
have
you.
spells.
I prepared for a social encounter and an object finding. That's why I used a sword in combat, because I have 0 combat spells prepared.
I will step aside and allow him to do this.
That explains it.
So it does appear that they were just kind of like screeching and caterwauling, and there wasn't really language to interpret. But as you like begin to cast magic, like they calm down and stop, and it looks like they're trying to figure out whether you're casting something offensively and they're getting like ready to defend. And then when the magic just kind of like washes over you, they kind of like stop. And any of you trained in insight?
I think I am.
Yes.
All right. Well, those of you trained in insight, like, see that they have a sense and know what magic was cast. So like their defensiveness kind of washes away, and they just kind of like look at you intently. And one of them cries out, "Why here? Why here?"
I beg your pardon. Why here? What?
You.
Oh, I look back at the group. What MacGuffin were we after this time?
We're looking for something and interested in making a trade.
We're looking for something and we're interested in making a trade.
So as the word trade, is said, like they literally like, go back to what they were, kind of doing before, but as opposed to like the nonsensical sounds that were coming out, it's just like mimicking the word trade over and over again as they're jumping up and down each time they say higher and higher. And one of these like, things flutters down, and it's probably only about 4 foot tall. Again, it's quite hideous. Those of you who are familiar with the typical D&D monsters have all heard the term and seen what a harpy looks like. It is exactly what you can imagine here. But it doesn't get like right up close to you, but it gets about 10-15 foot away. And what are you looking for? We have.
I, Asa, have actually forgotten what it is we came here for.
Hold on, I have this in my notes.
The tablet of protection.
Yes.
I doubt you want you guys are all intelligent. I don't think you're like, yes, I'm looking for this insanely powerful magic item.
Rather, we don't know its description as much as just like this would be a tablet with.
So that it's like a particular type of stone that is carved with sigils of the School of Abjuration.
Okay. We're looking for a stone. It's like a stone book. It's got things and it's carved into it.
So when you say the word stone, a couple of the the harpies, cry out stone, and like immediately like reach in and pull out, oh, here's a stone dog that's carved of semi-precious stone.
More flat than that.
Another one, reaches in and pulls out this, polished circular disc that is like looks like it's made of like smooth slate. We have stone, and they like fly down and they like holding it out. This.
My detect magic is still on. Do any of these give off a magical aura?
The stone dog does.
Okay. Well, I know that's not a tablet, so I'm not going to use. Well, I could use my action, but it's not going to matter. But I'm not going to go further into what school of magic it is.
Sure.
I'll just look at these things and no, not the stone. We're looking for something with writing on it, some sort of carving.
Could I? So I have no idea what they're saying. Are they speaking in any sort of language?
They're speaking common.
Okay. So
I used my comprehend language spell so effectively.
You did a great job. I told you, like, they weren't speaking the language. They were literally just caterwauling.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like Joshua is really. I don't understand what they're saying, and I'm just like, and I just chime in.
I am in fact translating for you every time they talk. Yes.
I'd say we just let him do it.
Exactly. Like
Good about himself.
It's kind of like halfway into the conversation. I'm like, wait a minute. So I start drawing in some dirt. You know what a stone tablet would essentially look like. You know, a flat cylindrical thing, and then kind of scribbling on it. That want us.
Die.
The stone wants you?
Yes.
I would love to meet the person who cast the spell that caused the junk piles to come to life.
That was us.
It was you. This is absolutely brilliant work.
They beam, and again, you know, their enthusiasm kind of gets the better of them, and they again kind of begin bouncing. And you know, from down here you can see, like, they actually, when they jump, like their wings kind of like take them, they're bouncing in the air, more flying than jumping, before they come back down, you know, their enthusiasm slowing a little.
So I'm going to draw one of my Draughts of the Damned, you know, the anti-holy water that we made several sessions ago. And I'm going to sort of offer one. And I'm like, I will offer this in trade for something if you'll sit down and speak with us for a little bit about how you managed this, because it really is excellent work. An excellent work of abjuration.
So they look at you, and like it takes a moment before one of them respond, and you can sense, again, because you're proficient at dealing with people, there's definitely the desire, you can see like their eyes have kind of roamed all of you, over the lot of you, I should say, and like anything that seems significant or interesting throughout this conversation, they've at least spent a moment looking at and admiring whatever that said object is. If you have any jewelry that stands out, anything with iconography on it, they definitely would have their attention. They've never taken their attention wholly away from the conversation, but their eyes have certainly kind of given you a thorough once-over collectively.
Can I have Carl up my sleeve, quite literally?
I don't think he's that small, but I mean, you could certainly have him.
Because like if they haven't noticed Carl yet, I would have been like, oh yeah, just 4 of us, you know.
You know, but to further the conversation, Chess, you know, they look at you, and like you can sense that they want to make the trade, but like there's hesitation, and it's like, we could show you, but you're not here.
I'm not here.
Need stay here. Make magic work.
You have to be here to make the magic work. Or
I think they mean the the tablet has to stay here to make the magic work in
No,
here.
no.
No? No.
Oh, spell works
No.
here. And it kind of like gestures over its head, like in a like more rectangular pattern.
As in, the spell is bound to this place.
Yes, here.
Oh no, that's quite all right. I don't need you to make it work elsewhere. I just want to know how you did it.
Yes.
Yes.
It holds out its head.
And I will pass the bottle over.
So it the trio of them kind of like jump up and down, like kind of pull you off to the side, and they yet again kind of begin caterwauling. And you can see like there's a bit of energy collecting between them, and they go through what seems to be typical gestures and vocalizations of a spell. The pattern doesn't necessarily look like anything you've seen before, and it seems that they're like joining some power together, and they gesture towards a different section of the junkyard, and you watch as yet again the thing kind of comes up like a marionette as stuff just piles on top of each other in a matter of a second and makes a humanoid form. This time like it's got the bucket is faced backwards, and like other pieces are like collected in front of it to make like a almost mockery of a humanoid face. A couple, like a broken sword makes a horn, and a broken glass makes another horn, and like the end of a mop bounces on the end of the bucket to make hair, and it just kind of like stands there and just leans its head looking at the creatures.
So I am going to continue to tell them how clever they are and hope that Joshua is paying attention, because it really is a wonderful work of abjuration, and there's a pretty good chance that we know where that power source is coming from.
Okay.
I am in fact paying attention, and I'm beginning to be curious about the magic that goes into it eating spells. I kind of want to cast a spell at it to see it get eaten. But I don't want to start combat. So maybe I make a bonobo roll and see what happens.
Ask them first.
Sure.
Yeah. Nope, I'm gonna cast a spell.
All right.
Now I need to know what spell to cast. What spells do I have that can do combat that aren't a cantrip? I'll cast Magic Missile. That's what I've got at level 2. There you go. Magic Missile cast.
All right, I'll get ready to roll initiative.
So you blast off a magic missile, and fully intending to see that this thing eats the magic, and to an extent it does. But you watch not as a sigil on its chest, which is in fact there. On its left, the dinner plate that makes up its left shoulder, there's a sigil there, and this time a barrier kind of comes in front of it, and you watch as very much a shield spell stops the magic missile from connecting. The creature kind of goes from this kind of lackadaisical waiting position to like one of alert, and it looks back and forth between what it senses is where the direction the magic came from. Maybe it's not oriented directly at you, but very much you are in its direct field of vision, and then back to the heartbeats as all of them collectively look in your direction. What do? Why?
If I cast a different spell, will it eat it again? It was eating a lot of our magic earlier, and that was fascinating. I'd like to see it again.
Yes. Magic strong here.
Okay, why?
Defend the yard. And you hear it like that there are other creatures, beyond these piles that kind
I
of
love how they sound like crows.
Mhm. The other creatures are what now?
there's 3 here, but as
Yeah.
they yell out, defend the yard, defend the yard, you can hear that echoed from other creatures that are clearly, here, that
Oh.
keep it going. So you now at least know that there are more than the 3 that you've seen so far.
Could I or should I make either an Arcana or an Insight roll to see how this thing was formed?
What are you trying to ascertain?
I guess I just want to see if my hypothesis is correct that this thing is created by like innate magic here that they are using, or if it's a spell they have that only seems to function here.
You could make an Arcana check if you like. The DC is going to be high because you have not had a lot of information to collect from.
Okay. Well, let's see what we get. Well, I did roll a 16, so that is a dirty 20.
That's not going to be enough.
When you say the DC is high, I didn't expect it would be.
Yeah, when I say high, that typically means 25 to 30.
Yep.
Especially for the level of game that we're at. But there's a lot going on here. And speaking of which, I'm gonna highlight an aspect of what is what is one of my favorite aspects of this. You have been kind of walking around for a while, and I did kind of say at the beginning that there was this giant tower that almost looked like an arm or with a hand attached to it. Well, as you guys are continuing this conversation and observation, the shadow changes as you watch as the tower slightly orients, and the hand, if you will, actually comes down, picks up a pile of stuff, and moves almost like it's a giant crane, and drops the pile, into one of the other piles.
A claw.
Then it returns back to standing upright.
Nope, I can't. Okay, never mind. I was going to ask if the hand seems magical, but it's definitely too far away.
Are these magical foremen?
What did you ask there, Carlos?
If they're magical foremen, just like,
So they are. I would probably respond with a joke, but they probably don't understand the term foreman. Yeah, so they would say three.
move things here or there.
They're magical 3-men.
I might have a moment to confer with my compatriots.
They nod their head and kind of like step back a couple feet.
You can pull people into a huddle.
You definitely see, and I'll let one of you decide who it is that looks. And even though they've stepped back, they've definitely oriented their ears towards the lot of you.
My perception is crap, so it's not me.
All of your perception is crap.
Yeah, we're kind of bad at it.
It's why I make so many poor choices with my character. I have
Talk.
bad
Where
wisdom.
are you now?
Why are we all standing so close that my horns could get interlocked with everyone else's?
I have a hypothesis.
Okay.
This place is functioning as a power nexus for these defensive spells. Yes, we've all seen this. You know what else was functioning as a power nexus for necromancy, illusion? I think. And I'm like whispering very quietly and like keeping my voice down on purpose. I think that the reason they're able to do this here and can't do it elsewhere is because we are in the right place for sure, definitely. And we don't have to take it, we just have to fix it.
We could ask how long the magic has been working like that here, because it would be good to know if fixing it would change its effect here.
It would be. All right.
But yeah, I think you're onto something.
Well, Joshua, you're up.
Oh, okay. What am I asking again?
It was your question.
You can't comprehend languages, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
but under pressure, Joshua is immediately just like nervous about
You're
figuring this one out.
asking how long it's been like this.
Right. That was my idea. Okay. Three men. We have a question for the three of you.
So as you kind of come out of the huddle, they inexpertly stand nonchalantly, or reorienting so that it doesn't immediately appear that they were trying to eavesdrop. Whether they were successful or not, who knows? But
how long have you been able to make these magnificent junk golems?
so they repeat time, all time.
All time. And how long have you lived here?
They just like kind of open their eyes and look back and forth at each other. All time.
Do you have a calendar, or do you count the times the sun goes up and comes down?
No.
Okay. We'll look back at the rest of the group and kind of raise an eyebrow. I don't think they have a good concept of time. I'm concerned if they're not long lived, that maybe that could be a problem.
Oh, that's all right. It just means that we haven't had our suspicions confirmed yet.
True.
You still want stone?
Oh,
Yes.
What stone? And they yet again hold up the dog and the smoothly polished oval of slate.
Probably a big one, right?
I
Really
kind
big
of
stone?
point towards my drawing like this.
So the one hops over to the drawing and looks at you, Phlox. More no. And they gesture at the drawing.
So I guess I kind of draw a bigger version of this.
More no.
More no.
I believe they're requesting more information.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So I just kind of draw like a big ornate, what I imagine with this tablet will look like. That's what I get from it.
One orients to you, Joshua. One orients to you, Chess, and the third, clearly they've all blocks. The other one goes to Ordo, and they all repeat the same thing. More no. Where? More no.
I'll look at the rest of you and say, perhaps we should draw some abjuration runes on the depiction of the tablet. Maybe they'll recognize some of them.
Well, again, those of you trained in insight, I'll give this to you. They're looking for more information, and that recently there was a deal with Drowlic to clear out the wizard study.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps that's what they're looking for.
It would have been
as a
something that
person
came
not
in.
trained in insight, I'm gonna I don't know what you're talking about.
It would have been something that came into your position recently.
From where?
From incompetent wizards.
Drellic.
So they look to each other, and they begin, kind of chattering, and it happens very fast. You would hear these rapid fire questions, and Joshua, you're barely able to kind of keep the understanding going with your comprehend languages, but they're asking questions of like, okay, who was it that did that job? How, where did that stuff get put? Was there a stone in it? What did that stone look like? Did it, there's a quick gesture at the drawing on the ground, so on and so forth. As they're just kind of super rapid fire, like a like a quickling, or something that would talk super fast, as this information just kind of travels back and forth between them, like one talking while the other one is answering the previous question. And it just this rapid fire, triangular conversation happening, before eventually they point, in the far direction towards one of the far corners of the junkyard. Awry, what give?
Part with my robe.
I've got something. I'm gonna rummage through my bags and pull out a gemstone.
Oh.
And what is the gemstone that?
It is the gem of energy charming, I think that's what it was called, which made me immune to force damage for 24 hours with only one use that I've never used. I figured might as well use it to bargain instead of use it for its effects, because I will forget.
Well, you do know that, and by all means, you're able to hold on to said item should you so desire. You were given an item at the tower.
Oh,
they look at the gem and they say more, and obviously as with everything, it's repeated multiple times.
wait, is that why I have a helmet, a stretchy sack? Is that what that item was? I don't remember what I got in the tower.
There was a helm with jewels encrusted in it that was taken from the tower treasury.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, it's in a stretchy sack. I don't remember where the stretchy sack came from or what that's about, but those are the notes I kept. So okay, yeah, then I've got the helm. That's what we're looking for.
Ladies, gentlemen, those who are both or neither, this was your daily peek into Ace's brain.
Yes, this is how I note take. Oh my gosh! All right.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go. Oh, maybe that's what this was for. Pull out my stretchy sack. Pull
That's
down.
cursed.
So you pull out a very shiny helm out of your bag, and they are completely unable to contain any excitement as they have gone into their biggest bounces of excitement yet, and they are clearly interested in said thing.
Okay. As a side note, I'm pretty sure stretchy sack is the term I gave to my bag of holding. I think that's what that is.
That makes a little
Slightly
more
less
sense.
cursed.
Empty the bag.
I will. Yeah, I'll pull the helm out and say, "Show us," and the helm was yours.
So, they again, and say, "You find, and we trade."
Oh, we have to find it.
Ooh, that's fine. Just guide us
Okay.
to where it's at, and then
The
we'll
general
find it from
area.
there.
So they take you, and it takes at least a good solid half hour's walk.
I continue making arrows as we go. I don't want to get lost in here.
You navigate, and there's all kinds of things in this place. Again, about 90+% of it is junk, but in every pile there's at least one like solid what you would define as treasure that gleams and draws the eye. So as you walk past one pile, Ordo, what do you notice that draws your eye?
What would draw Ordo's eye? An unbroken, ornate-looking mirror, a handheld kind.
Okay, so you see this beautiful mirror that's completely, it's got a silver handle, silver etches along the edge, and it's inlaid with like golden swirls, and the mirror just seems absolutely pristine and completely just looks so out of place in such a place as this, where everything around it is kind of dirty and broken, and it's just like the light glistening off of the sun reflecting down that kind of captures your attention. And as you continue to wend your way past and move on to the next pile, Joshua, what grabs your attention in this one?
Well, Ted, I am very glad you asked, because for a different game, I made a list of 20 items that were all sort of magical and kind of cool. So I'm going to ask you to roll a d20.
You want me to randomly roll a d20 on your list? What
Yes, yes, I do.
Kind of comes up to the Chaos Crew.
The DM becomes the DM.
What did you say?
That's a 5, sir.
That is a 5. All right. What Joshua sees is a throne, more like a chair, like a dining room chair, made up of like jagged bits of melted metal that seems to be perpetually frozen in a block of ice.
That is entirely a weird thing to see, in the midst of a pile of stuff out in the sun. So clearly the ice that this thing is surrounded in has got to be magical.
That is true.
Mm.
It is the only thing that's caught Joshua's eye this whole time, probably because it's the cleanest thing in here. And I will take a step toward it.
There are probably plenty of objects in here that do seem to glisten and gleam and reject the general dirt and dirtiness of the place. The aforementioned mirror was certainly being one of them that looked pristine. The dark bones that Chesseline had seen did not seem dirty. They seem to glisten in the light as well. So some things going on here. But so what do you do with this throne? Do you actually like head towards it, or do you just look at it?
I was gonna step toward it. Yeah.
All right. What do you do with this throne? It's probably about 10 feet up, so you might have to do a little bit of climbing.
Well, I think I'll just kind of get to a better vantage point without climbing, because we all know
Okay.
how much Joshua does not like to do anything physical.
Sure.
And then just kind of marvel at it.
So you marvel at it for a while, and you can see that it looks, like it's probably way too heavy to resting where it is. If it's a metal throne made of like, expertly, crafted slags of metal piled together, or melted together to make this beautiful throne, and then in itself locked in a rectangular block of ice, and then just loosely resting on piles of junk, there is no reason why this thing should not have slid to the bottom and easily been able to be touched or examined, but yet somehow it's up there.
All right.
Are you able to pry your attention from it after a moment, or do you feel compelled to go further?
Oh, I think the group would have probably wandered on far enough to realize like Josh is not there before I break my gaze away and
Sure.
huff and puff to catch up.
So you huff and puff to catch up, and as you do so, you certainly see a handful of other eyes with green skin, kind of looking out from the piles, watching you as you continue, and eventually you catch up to your companions, and the harpies point at the massive pile. Everything here doesn't seem to be covered in dirt and dust, much like the other things, as all of this is probably within the last few weeks been piled down. And you see chairs, tables, dressers, a variety of clothes, a couple of broken wands and wizard staffs, numerous broken beakers and vials, all kinds of things in a wizard's laboratory or a wizard's study. Much of it totally mishandled and broken, whether it was broken there through misuse or through inexperience with being able to properly use the stuff, or whether it was broken in transport or broken literally in just let's drop it into a pile. And the harpies kind of point at said pile and say, there. And they begin to kind of like fly to, again, one of the tops of the piles and kind of sit and watch you.
So as I see this happen, I guess I'm going to like move towards where they're saying there.
Okay, I mean, so there's the pile in front of you.
I hope nothing bad happens. Let me just kind of shimmy through the pile. Hopefully, I don't need to roll initiative.
So you begin to dig around. Phlox, what about the rest of you?
I want to use the help action.
If you can ready shield, that'd be very useful.
I don't think I have it.
Dang it.
Well, shield you can't use on somebody else. So
Yeah, that too.
Shield yourself, I guess. Like no.
And I don't have it.
So what about you, Ordo? What do you do?
Do I? No, I do. Never mind. And it's prepared. I'm stupid.
There you go.
I was gonna say, shield is one of those things a Bladesinger should really have.
Yeah, you're right. And I do. It's on my character sheet.
And let's be fair. As far as spells go, there's literally no reason why there's any spell that anything you might possibly want that's not in your spell book, because you had access to the library to get whatever every time you go back.
I guess being the one who triggered the junk golems last time, I'm very leery of Phlox clambering through this, and I will be at the ready to cast Shadow Blade again if I need to, checking that my groin, that's not what I meant to say. Checking that my loins are still girded.
So as I'm going through the pile, I'm gonna kind of like dust through. Come on, Order, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. We took care of those last time.
I'll draw my greatsword and be ready as well. Kind of looking to Ordo to like be my guide in what to attack.
All right. So Phlox, as you're clambering around, you see all of this stuff that I've kind of pointed out, and this one dresser seems to kind of be in the way, and you think you see something glistening below it. Do you you kind of like try to shove past and get to the glistening object below?
Yeah, I definitely do.
So all of you watch, Phlox kind of like put a shoulder into this, somewhat busted dresser. And let's see here. I'm gonna roll D3, 1, 2, 3.
Just let me know the type of save I need to make. I already pre-rolled.
Right, great. So Ordo, you watch as Phlox goes to push in this thing, and you realize that there is a lot of stuff that is kind of leaning in the direction of this dresser, and that it's a major like balance point. And as that last shove goes, you cry out as all of you are completely buried in a pile of debris that comes down upon all of you. And I'm going to take some agency. And at this moment, you guys realize you're going to need some help. And you quick gesture, because you're all familiar enough with the spell, and you call forth your familiars. And as they appear, and the 4 of you, technically 5, are buried, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Alrighty.
Dig it.
I love it.
So,
Crushed by things with familiars.
so
out.
we are going to have a special episode next
Oh man.
where these wonderful wizards are going to play their familiars. We're going to have a conversation off air as whether we're going to use the regular familiar rules or we're going to use the roles, familiar problem rules that was available at Free RPG Day. And we're going to be back next month with some familiar shenanigans.
Mhm.
So come on back, join us for some more Untraditionally Arcane. Do all the things, easy roller dice link down in the description. Show some love to those guys. Obviously, go follow these people over, with their links down in the description below. See all the wonderful things that they get up to and whatnot. And if you're familiar with the channel, you should. Until next time.
Stay
Stay
nerdy.
nerdy.
Hey, nerdy.
We were all a little bit off.